I've tried to intro this video 3 times now and they all seem awkward and disingenuous, so I'm Emily. Hi. Welcome back to my channel. I make faith and lifestyle videos. I like to share my experiences, testimonies, and short stories, and sometimes vlogs. So if that sounds interesting to you, keep watching. Okay, so as I mentioned in my last video, I want to start making some storytime videos that are not necessarily anything serious because they're funny. And so I was trying to think of a story time to tell today, and I figured that that would probably be like a 1-minute story, and it's not very long. And I know I said I wanted to try to make shorter 2 to 5 minute videos, but like that's overrated and I don't think I can do that anyway. So I have 6 stories that I want to share that fall under the category embarrassing moments at church stories. And depending on how long this gets, I might split it into 2 parts and have a part 1 and part 2. I don't know yet. We'll see how it goes. If it gets to be like over 10 minutes, I'll probably split it into 2. So let's go ahead and get started. Also, it's finally getting cold here where I live in Florida. And I wanted this to feel like a cozy fall video, but I tried to put on a scarf. It didn't really look right inside. So here's my favorite burgundy shirt. It might slide all over the place, but it's okay. I want to feel fall. I want to feel warm and cozy. You can see my fall decorations right here. I've tried to light a candle before in the background of my video and you can't really see it, so I thought there's no point in that, but just think fall thoughts while you're watching this. Okay, so my first embarrassing story at church was, I'm sure that I have some before this, but the first one that I could remember for this video is when I was in youth group in probably 8th grade, maybe 9th grade. I went to a really big youth group at that time, like over 100 students on a Wednesday, and we have this after worship. Most churches do this. You like shake hands with somebody, like meet a new friend before service starts. So I was sitting next to Claire, my friend, and there was this guy in front of us who turned around and was like introducing himself to us. And he said, "Oh, I'm so-and-so. Hi, nice to meet you." And Claire said, "Oh, hi, I'm Claire. Nice to meet you." And then I said, "Yeah, I'm Claire. Nice to meet you." What? Why did I say that that was my name? I don't know. That is not my name, which doesn't really make any sense, but that's what happened, and that was really embarrassing because then I had to be like, that's not my name actually. My name's Emily, hi. So that was embarrassing. Have you ever been in worship and you are like raising your hands, you're feeling the spirit, you're having a moment with the Lord, and then you bump into someone next to you with your hand? Like you start swaying and you like bump into someone, or even better, you're up like this and somebody else's arms are up like this and you like bump into them. It kind of ruins the moment. So one time in particular, I remember in the same youth group, I was in worship and I'm lifting my hand probably about here, I'm feeling it, and the girl next to me, which I knew her, so it's not as bad, and she's really sweet, I bumped my hand into her. It was like, oh, this is awkward. I don't even exactly remember what happened, except I think that she like recognized that I felt really uncomfortable about it, and I think I said sorry, which is weird, and I put my hand down, and then she like patted me on the arm or like gave me a hug or something, like to acknowledge it's okay, don't be embarrassed. And like I don't blame her for doing that at all. It was a really sweet gesture, but I just felt so embarrassed. Like, I don't know. I think things like that are heightened when you're 14, 15, 16 years old, and it just felt a lot elevated, because now if I bumped into someone in worship, I'd just pretend it didn't happen. Like, it's not that big a deal, probably happens all the time, but at the time, extremely embarrassing, extremely. My next embarrassing church story is one time I was in the next youth group that I was in. So I was in the really big youth group. I moved to a really small youth group that had like 20 people in it. And there was a period of time where we were going through and talking about testimonies. So the youth pastors gave their testimonies, the youth leaders gave their testimonies, and then they said, next week, we want you guys to write down your testimony and bring it, and we're going to break you into small groups and you can share it with people in the group, and we'll have a leader in each group. So I was really stressed out at school at the time, and I was like I was a junior in high school at the time, and I had this big paper going on and like a lot of school stuff and probably some rehearsals sprinkled in there. I was like completely overloaded. So they said, write down your testimony, and I'm like, I don't have any room in my life, any time to do this. Like, this is like schoolwork, and I can't, because I'm so drowned with schoolwork. I can't have homework for youth group too. Like, not like being mad at my youth pastors for that or anything like that, but just me feeling like a stressed out high school student. So I decided, hey, like, a testimony isn't just like your whole testimony of like how you came to know Jesus. Like, a testimony is also like a story, like I do on my YouTube channel all the time. A little story of like something the Lord did, or something he taught you, or something that you taught someone else, or whatever. So I was like, I'll just write like a short story testimony of something that the Lord's done, or a way that he's used me, and I won't have to write my entire testimony and figure out how to tell the story, because I'm a details person that could take forever. So I write down this little tidbit story, something the Lord had done lately. And when we got to youth, we went and shared our testimonies. And I was in a group with 3 students and 1 leader, I think, including me. They went around and shared their like full testimony, how they came to Jesus, beautiful stuff. And then it came to me, and I just told this little story, and then I was done. And I didn't realize that it would be weird that everybody shared their whole life story and I just shared this little story. And I don't know if embarrassing is actually the word, because I planned to do that. But in hindsight, it was kind of embarrassing, because I could feel the leader in my group being like, so you came to know Jesus how? Or how'd you get from point A to point B? Like, how did that happen? Because you didn't share that at all. So that was a little bit embarrassing. Hi, everyone. So it's me. That's the cringiest thing I've ever said. I know I said that there were 3 funny videos in this video, and there's a whole nother video of funny videos, funny stories, I guess. But I was in the process of putting together this video, and another embarrassing moment happened at church, and it was too good not to share. So I have my fellow intern and friend Marissa here, who was with me. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you.
She was with me when this embarrassing moment happened, and she is here with me to tell you guys the story, because it's a good one.
It is.
To set this story up, me and Marissa, as part of our internship, they gave us journals to use every week and do an hour of prayer and journaling and worship before the Lord. So for the past like month, we've been doing our hour at our prayer room across from our church, and we sit in there, we turn music on the speakers, the upper room live stream on Monday mornings, it's lit. We turn that on, and we're sitting and having our quiet time with the Lord. And Marissa was sitting on the back wall, and I was sitting in some chairs. And there are 2 emergency exit doors in this room, and then there's a door that goes out into the rest of the building. Now, there were other people in the building, like administrator people.
But there's usually no one in the room.
There's nobody in the room but us.
Yeah.
Nobody uses the emergency exit doors to come inside. Like, you might use them to go out if you have like an emergency.
Yeah, right.
But nobody comes in through these doors. So I'm sitting in direct eye line of one of the emergency exit doors.
Like right there.
Like, I can see it. It's across the room, but like I can directly see it. She can't see the door.
Yeah, I'm in the back. I'm like on the back wall, so I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. So I start to see, like, you can see light through the door. I'm trying to make this make sense. You can see light through the door, the light of outside through the door, the crack in the door. And I start to see the light like getting more, like somebody's trying to open the door, and I heard like somebody was trying to open the door, and I'm like, is that the wind? Like, is that real? Is somebody nobody's trying to open the door, that's stupid. And then I was like thinking, she's hearing this, right? Because like it's not
so
just me.
I literally I heard a noise, but I didn't think anything of it, and
I looked over at her like, are you hearing this? And she's not really reacting at all. And I'm like, is somebody trying to open the door? Like, I'm like, yeah, we were like,
to break in.
maybe like 8 feet apart from each other, 10 feet or something. And I'm like, is somebody trying to open the door? And she's like,
I literally didn't think this was real life.
So
I was
she's like, nobody is trying to open the door.
I was like, what are you talking about?
So
yeah.
it starts, like, it becomes extremely obvious that someone is trying to open the door from
like
the
legit.
outside.
Like there's a person right outside the door
And
that's trying to come in.
I'm like scared, like somebody is trying to break in the building right now. Oh my gosh, what do we do? I go and take my little journal and I run to her on the wall.
She's
And
like
I'm like
sitting right
crouching
here.
down with my little journal. We're sitting on the floor next to the wall. And I'm like, Marissa, somebody is
She was
trying.
like,
I was like,
should we run?
I was like, somebody is trying to break in right now. Should we run? Like whispering
Like
too.
actually, like
they're
should
gonna
we
hear
run
me
right now? Like do
I
we
was
need
like,
to escape?
I was like, the double doors are right there. Should we run? Like, do we need to run? I was
we need to
so serious. I thought somebody was breaking into the building.
And I thought she was like kidding. Like I knew that
She
there
thought
was,
I was being dramatic or something.
well, like I thought you were just like, oh my god, should we run? Like
Like
there's
being
someone trying to
funny.
break in. But
Like,
then
haha.
yeah, because I didn't see the door. I just heard a noise and I didn't know it was coming from that
She
exit
thought
door.
I was just being dramatic. Because I am dramatic.
But she was literally like Marissa, should we run right now? Like we need to go. There's someone breaking in and we're gonna get kidnapped.
Right, I legit, I was like, we need to tell someone. Like, there are people in this
need to
building
call
that can help
911.
us. We need to run, because if we go to the office, then they can keep us safe.
Yeah, right.
So, Marissa's not responding, like, to the should we run? And I'm like, why are you not more worried right now in my head? And so then the door is, like, legit opening. We
Yeah.
can't see
it's
the door.
Like actually open.
There's like a wall. There's a wall. We can't see the door. And so we hear somebody comes in and they're in the building and
Okay,
we can't see them. And we know that there is a human body standing in the building.
But then they turned on the lights.
They turn on the lights. We're like,
We're like, oh my god. They were like opening the door and closing it and like turning on the lights and doing stuff. We were like, actually, who is here right now? Because we thought someone like would announce that or like say something and not just
Right?
like stand there.
because the people on staff know that we do that in the prayer room.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, they didn't want to tell us and not, try to scare us. Just
yeah,
be like,
I'm
"Oh, hey,
convinced
by the
that people
way."
try to scare us at this point. They think it's funny. That's another
do.
story for another day. So we're like, who is this in the building? And the person walks around the corner and it's our children's pastor who's up at the church all the time. And we're like,
What are
what are you doing in here? I was about to pee my pants.
We're freaking out, trying to know if we need to go.
And he's just like, yeah, someone with a key is breaking into the building.
And
I
we
was
were
like,
like,
we didn't know you had a key. It sounded like you were
it
struggling
literally
out there.
sounded like trying to like,
break in.
yeah.
And there's a dumpster right outside that door, so it's like maybe somebody lives in our
living in the
dumpster and they thought nobody is here and they thought they'd like steal some AC or something. I don't know what I thought. But we couldn't get back together with it after that. Like the rest of our hour was scrapped.
and then wait, was that before or after the lights?
Oh,
went
that was
out?
after.
Oh yeah.
Well, we were in there before this happened, doing our hour, and all the lights
all
went
messed
out,
up.
and the sound went out.
And it's never done that before.
And
It's
we're
such a
like,
random thing. It was as if there was like lightning struck. Like everything came off.
but it's like a perfectly beautiful day outside, so it
Yeah.
didn't make any sense.
Yep.
So it was a day.
It was a day.
And then
It
somebody
started
tried to
out-
break in,
Yeah, we had an eventful morning.
and we didn't get back with it. And I think the rest of the day was a little
It was a little off.
That's our story.
That's our
The story of how our children's pastor made us think that somebody was breaking into the building,
Yeah,
and
broken.
I was laughing hysterically and not ashamed because it was really, really funny. But I
No.
feel like a lot of the people that see us at the church, we're always laughing 100%
They're
of
just
the
like,
time.
oh my god.
Like, we will be sitting on the floor, crouched down, laughing so hard that we're crying.
literally
And
just happened
people-
today.
Literally just happened about 25 minutes ago. We're like crying on the floor because we're laughing so hard. And they just walk on by. They
They're
don't
just
even,
going about their normal day, just like talking, having a normal conversation. We're over here like,
they don't give us a second look. I'm like, well.
wow, it's just normal. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little sneak peek
a little glimpse into
little
our little intern days.
intern world, and hopefully I'll make a little recap video of
Yeah.
interning, or maybe even a day in the life vlog of an intern. I think you're gonna watch the outro next, and stay tuned for part 2 of embarrassing church stories because I have some for you. Thank you for being on my channel.
You're welcome. I'm so glad. I'm so honored to be here.
I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and comment your favorite embarrassing story from church, or if you don't go to church and you're watching this, post your favorite embarrassing story or an embarrassing story that happened to you down below. Can't wait to read them. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and see you very soon. Bye.